And we are red. Red is on.
We will open this meeting of January 28th. Let the record show. All are present except John Scanlon, and he is on his way. We will go into the approval of minutes.
I don't know if this thing is working or not, but I turned the on button.
You have to hit the record button.
That's why I didn't touch it.
Okay. Recording. Oh, this is new. It's gonna be pretty here.
Is that the most current?
I think. It's pretty new. All right, make a motion, we approve the minutes of January 7th. Bring the minutes of January 7th to the floor for discussion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes. On page 2, down near the bottom, it's talking about the traffic on Main Street during the Christmas parade. The actual issue is the traffic backed up way beyond exit 20 and all the way to Franklin. I don't know if we can add something like that in there, because that's what the conversation was really about. Heck, Main Street's closed during the Christmas parade, but the traffic was backed up for miles in either direction.
And the solution is 2 variable message boards.
Well, that'll help somewhat, maybe.
Maybe. You don't think posting those?
It'll help. Give them a heads up what's going on.
So they'll know why they're there? So they'll know why
Well, no,
they're there?
well, if you put it back far enough, you can cut around.
There you go.
What are you talking about?
Bottom
I
of the
think it's a
page.
great idea. It's down at the
You head
bottom.
over Northfield, you can go Bay Hill, cut across, go up Sergeant, Zion
Oh,
Hill
yeah.
and down
Zion
that way.
Hill.
You can go around things.
And then
You
you
could
could
go
go,
Lancaster Hill to School Street, what is it, March to Caleb.
Doesn't help once you get to exit 20 and
Yeah.
then this side of it.
but they could have a sign
Well,
that
yeah, but
says,
if you put your signs up even that side, the people from that know the area will know. Okay.
It'll help. It'll help.
So it should be traffic backing up
That would be East Main.
to Main Street.
2 Main Street, yeah. On both sides, but
that's not
Well,
very great.
there was also an issue,
Put
because I
traffic on
commented
Route 3
at
instead of
Park
Main
Street.
our traffic on Route 3.
Well, what they were doing is, if I was turning left on Park, they weren't letting the West Main turn right on. They were only letting one way go, and you could do both. So of course, that just stacked them past the high school.
Which I think was technically a different issue for Christmas break. At school, wasn't it?
No, that was during the parade, because I was trying to get my bookie there in Franklin. My bookkeeper.
Oh,
Do you know what you want it to say?
The issue wasn't necessarily the traffic on Main Street, it was the traffic backed up in either
so
direction.
traffic on Route 3,
Yeah.
backing up on Route 3 during the Christmas parade, that's what we're gonna change it to.
East and West Main.
Yeah, nobody knew what they were
No,
backed
on
up
Route
for,
3.
and they were irritating people. So,
Okay.
All right,
variable message boards will definitely help with that.
Yeah, because you can put those up a couple of days in advance.
Well, we have to get them first, but,
okay, moving right along.
yeah.
The Christmas parade, you might be able to do sweet talk pipe.
On page 4, when we talked about Pruderi, there's nothing here that indicates that we asked him to come in to speak with the board.
Did we on that? I don't think we did that night.
No, this was January 7th.
Yeah.
No, that was, you wanted me to contact him. Does it say that? Yeah, the board asked Joyce to contact Crederi.
Any other corrections, omissions, concerns?
Yeah, when did Scott Davis come? I think I missed that meeting.
You did come?
You did?
Yeah,
Must have been late or something.
no,
You had to be gone till 6 or 6:30 that
Oh,
day.
yeah, you were at the math league.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of January 7th as amended, as corrected.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes?
Aye.
No vote once.
Vote early, vote often, that's my motto.
Bring the minutes of January 25th to the floor for discussion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Yes?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion, we accept the minutes of January 25th as written. All those in favor?
Yes.
Okey-dokey.
Aye.
I'm sorry, who made the original motion and
I
seconded?
did.
And who seconded it?
Aye.
Katie, okay.
We're taping this, just in case.
Oh, good. Is the sound, are the microphones working?
We got a digital.
Okay.
Got a little one
Yeah,
from,
I found,
Those don't seem to be working.
I couldn't find mine, but I did find Gail's.
oh, yeah, well, we
Why'd you
have
send
darts.
me down there looking for it there, Madam Chair?
We have darts.
And you know, the other thing I couldn't find was the payroll book.
He already put it away, we signed it Monday.
Oh.
I thought you couldn't find a cord.
We sent Peter down to get the recorder, but he came back up, he borrowed Gary's.
Okay.
Diary saw me searching and when I couldn't
Okay,
find it.
well, because I had it. Did you want to keep using Darius then? Okay. And this is Gail's. And then mine, I had mine up here last week, because I didn't know if this was going to work, just so we could have a backup. I don't know where it went. But it looks like Darius, if you see it.
And next on our list is the trash and littering ordinance.
Yes, Catherine forwarded that to me, and I put it in our format, and I sent it back to Catherine, and did you get a chance to look at it, Catherine?
No, it's not.
Okay. I did not send that to the board, I wanted you to look at it before I sent it to the board. 'cause
So we don't have it?
We
You want
have
me-
something-
No, we need to have the one that was
We don't have
corrected.
the new and improved one.
We want the one that we corrected last week.
Okay, so this one I can just jettison then? All right.
Well, do you want me to go ahead and send that to everybody?
Yeah, have them send it there.
Okay, because I haven't reviewed it to make sure that you have everything in there. Because there were just so many copies of it around,
Oh, there's a plus one of them.
yeah.
Next, a little ahead, let's keep it that way.
That's way too neat.
Well, we're gonna table the
Really put a whole mark in this.
trash and littering ordinance till next week because we don't have the copies in front of us to critique it. So
Well,
we
I
will,
can print it out, we could do it later under my agenda.
way too full.
Okay.
Mr. Corderi is coming in at 5 o'clock, we have 15 minutes. So why don't we take Johnny and take one subject for 15, one subject that you need to take care of, and then we'll sit you back down and then take Mr. Corderi and move things along.
Okay.
You do one thing.
One thing. Oh, let's go for two.
2 and 15 minutes, yeah. Okay, let's go for it.
All right, other than my update, I only had, what I sent you guys this week on either the winter maintenance plan or the, yeah, I'm drawing a blank now. It was either the winter maintenance plan or the construction that we're.
The 10-year plan.
Yeah, what I sent you was the names of 4 roads. 3 of those roads are the ones that I believe Dennis had on for last year that didn't get done. One he took off was Birch Road because we decided to do the police parking lot instead. I do agree with him, those are the next 3 roads that really need to be done. But we also have March Road that Samberton is gonna do this year as well. So it doesn't make much sense to not do it at the same time. And then I would ask for some guidance on how to do that, if we do it. I talked to Brian already, he kind of fell through about doing the RFPs together. He got nervous. But I can still probably, we can still probably hop on to whatever they get for the bid. We would just have to pay our portion.
You know, if they just wanna send us a draft of the RFP,
Yeah.
then, I mean, we don't have to do it together, but if we look at it
I can
and
do
it works with our road,
You want to save money, you regionalize your bids.
right.
Greater Portland's been doing it for decades.
I know, I mentioned.
We're only talking about, what, is it even a mile? Didn't we
It's like
determine
900.
it's less than a mile?
It's about 950 feet,
Yeah.
you know. But, no, I brought up the plan of, or the idea of, let's just incorporate it. Why, and he got nervous about the fact, I think somebody was talking to him about, well,
So-
we'll have different, we have 4 different roads to go to, and the mobilization, and I'm like,
Okay.
you know, he got nervous thinking that was gonna raise his prices. I'm like, it's not.
What do, you reduce
I
it.
said,
So what we do, when you put it out to bid, March Road's an alternate. And we'll do it if they do it in Samberton, and we just tell them when you get to it, you just separate slips, so they can
yeah,
figure
that's
out.
all I told him, you just stop what you pay for right here.
Yeah,
And
they'll measure it out and
Yeah.
split it up.
so, he's kinda new still,
Yeah.
and he got nervous, I mean, and I checked with
And maybe we
Northfield.
should talk to the Samberton Selectmen, see if we can get them to,
But I did check with Northfield, and they're not doing any construction this year.
So if we do all of those roads, including March Road, we're at $359,650.
I thought I told him.
You did. Total cost, 195,275 on the sheet that you sent.
I thought that was just for the other one.
What's our 10-year plan?
Total cost for 2016, 195,275. Now, I didn't check all the other sheets
You
to
know,
check
one-
the veracity of this, but
So the total on that sheet is not a cost of one road, it's the cost of all 4 together, because it doesn't say that. It just says total cost for 2016.
Total for all of them together. And again, that's just my estimated figure, and I tend to try to estimate high.
well, if fuel stays the way it is,
Yeah.
they should be dropping.
It should be dropping.
Because asphalt,
Yeah.
that should be dropping
They
way
took a
down.
pretty good drop this past year too. But no, it's 195, 275 is just my estimated cost for the 4 roads. And I always try to add high because sometimes you run into some hidden costs and so on and so forth, but it shouldn't be too far out of whack. I'd just rather be high and not need it all than to not be low and not have enough.
I'm sorry, I didn't see your list. What are the roads?
The roads are,
Birch,
Birch,
Ridge, Westwood, and a
March.
little bit of March.
a little piece of March.
Birch Ridge, Westwood, and the March piece, okay.
And on these 4 roads, I do recommend, in this particular case, reclaim and repave. Because it looks to me like the part of the road base are all out of sync.
So Birch, which is just a little,
It's about half of Birch, it's not the whole length of Birch.
on the bottom half should be halfway decent.
Well, that was done, I talked to John from the Tilton Northfield Aqueduct, and it was just shimmed over, it was paved over for the pipe that they put in, you know, mostly the sewer department.
Yeah.
So it was just overlaid with that. What we could do there, I can measure it out, maybe overlay that section and do the rest for paver, you know, reclaim and repave. We don't have to we don't have to reclaim everything. We could-
Well, my concern, we reclaim all these residential roads with the only trucks they get are oil trucks and the plow trucks. It's not like they're getting tractor trailers.
Right. I could do on that, I could do a,
There's
middle
no
and
curb,
fill.
because there's no curb, so if you went up a couple inches, it's a little bit of shoulder.
Actually, on those places that are not right in town with good drainage, I would rather build up as opposed to
Maintain.
going down, or even keeping the same level,
Yeah.
elevation, because if you have a good drainage system, you want the water to come into the road and go down the drainage. If you don't, which is usually the outlying areas,
Mhm.
you want to build the roads up, typically. With the exception, well, you still got to tie in driveways and stuff. But,
So we're gonna do the opposite of Manville, where the road is lower than the shoulders?
It's not
Yes.
good.
No, it's under 80. And then that's
So,
open.
but you don't have to get back to me this particular week, because we're still ahead of the game. I'm trying to get it, it would be nice to know, so that we possibly have to put it into the town report. But this is not,
Wait, you could say,
Put what in the town report?
well,
Not the 10-year plan.
no, just upcoming projects for the year,
10-year
or
plan,
anticipated. 10-year plan would
it's
be,
changed.
well, the 10-year plan is supposed to change.
That's right.
It's a forecast, and,
Most people don't understand that.
yeah, and in 10 years, you know, one road can fall apart extremely faster than the rest of them. It just, it's a living document, meant to change.
That's right.
because the other thing you could do is just say paving projects for the year and just list the roads out and don't go into detail as to
Right.
what's being done.
Yeah.
And then people anticipate their road getting done, something happens and it doesn't.
Well, what you can say is the tentative paving for the 2016 construction season at this point in time is,
I
We've
think-
never, it's just we've never done that. We've never put it in
So,
for that.
do you want me to go there? We're in a new era.
It's the Peter Fogg era.
Nothing has changed in this new era from the past eras, that we don't
Nothing has-
typically print something that can change, is subject to change.
I'm just saying that we've got a new department head, that we've done some major changes, so maybe this is a continuation.
oh, you'll see a lot more changes to come. I mean, you know,
If
Dennis
we
was
if we list them and then we have to change them for some reason, we're just opening ourselves up to problems.
so.
I've seen them on lists for 5 years and
If
things just
anyone
don't get done.
questions it, say, we'll get you the 10-year plan and you can look at exit 19 being constructed as a full interchange. And you'll see that it's always 9 or 10 years out.
Well,
It never moves.
I would vote no on that.
Well, I don't have to put that, I can do my town report without that, I can figure.
I guess you have to do it after the fact, Johnny, to appease some and just say, this is what we did this year, in case you haven't written on it.
That's what I would normally do. The problem is I've only been here a few months. So I have done a couple of projects, but they're not really what I would call bigger projects and noteworthy to fill up your town report with. So in the coming year, when I do my town report next year, I'll have a bunch of things listed in the town report that we have done this summer coming. So,
Well, are you listing, you're working on ditching townwide?
no, I haven't listed that.
Well, where you started on Noise Road, you've started.
Mhm.
I'm assuming you're planning to continue.
Oh, I plan on doing more than that.
Right, no,
I've always done it north, but yeah, I do plan on it, but, yeah, I said part of it was, I'm looking forward, you know, we have a lot of work to do, and we're, actually, and it's true, the crew's looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it. I love getting something done and looking back at what you've done, so. It's there, I can finish that up. I would just, if we had nailed it down, I could throw it in the town report, but I don't have to have it, I can still go on without that.
Yeah, last year, we had quite a few storm events that were significant, so
Yeah.
it did address that, give you areas to focus on.
Yeah, and you did have a lot.
So these prices are carried over from the 10-year plan.
No. Well, they're part of the 10-year plan. I put it in
These
there.
same prices come from this 10-year plan. Well, this is $2 more, but basically these are the same prices
Yeah, because I've readjusted,
How much
from
a
this
ton?
10-year plan. That was Dennis's.
Oh, okay, because I went through.
So I'm
and
just
I readjusted.
concerned
So-
that
So how much a ton are you?
I'm figuring,
It doesn't tell me in this, but in this, Birch is 45,133, Ridge is 89,080, and Westwood is 58,476. So, I don't know if prices for that stuff has changed since this was done. This is probably,
maybe not, I know I'm a little high on my cost per ton, because I figured it $80 a ton, and it's probably down closer to 70 now, 75, in that range.
I think it'd be even lower, because we were paying 70.
But again, like I say, I would rather figure
No, I
it
know.
high, and then we save a few dollars, and you have wiggle room. If you cut yourself down too
No, I-
much, and you end up running out of funds, then we're all in a pickle. You know, but if you have money left over, everybody's usually happy. But I try to get it into a reasonable ballpark. So that's probably why our numbers have come out so close. Because things have gone down, the price of oil and everything affects
That's the total.
asphalt.
this is, what is in this account right now? I don't believe that's in
No,
it.
it's not.
I think once the town meeting is done this year, if it's approved.
But we have sidewalk in there, so the only amount that's going into road is 65.
65 into the capital reserve fund. And last time I checked with Tim, it'll be closer to 300,000 in the capital reserve fund,
Where to be done?
Without sidewalks.
without the sidewalks and stuff, yeah.
How does that keep us on our schedule for this 10-year plan?
Those were scheduled for 2015, what they set in the March Road. So I didn't continue on, I will have to adjust those numbers again. If we do these 4 roads. Which again is something I expect to do.
Yeah, right, it's 228, right, 391, that's it, 1231.
Yeah,
Nice.
close to 300,000.
280 something,
280 something.
293.
Now, Birch Road, that particular one could wait a year. I mean, I would have to replace it in the 10-year plan.
But here's the thing, so, I mean, we're shuffling now, because we have, for 2016, on this schedule, it's High Street, Pine Street, Highland Avenue, Linden Avenue, Daniel Drive,
And what sort of,
Mechanic Street,
what
Copeland,
matrix did we use to
Grand
determine?
Street, Morrison Avenue.
What I really did was Dennis already had a lot of the information down, which was good. Links, widths and stuff like that. And I created my new file system.
Crystal, those are all 216.
And I went with a lot of the things he had already recommended. They were pretty close to what I think was reasonable. But again, like I say, every year you can expect this document, the 10-year plan, to change. So it does leave room to change, but at least we have a plan in place.
So
But
we really
why would
don't
that-
have a plan in place, because there's no way we're gonna get to these 2016 roads that are on our current plan.
How can you have how can you have a 10-year plan and expect to have it change every 5 years?
Because the conditions of the road changes almost on an annual basis.
So it's really not a
How was it first devised?
I'm not asking you.
No, I'm asking. How did Dennis come up with it?
He took priorities on which roads needed to be done first.
Under what criteria?
I guess we'd have to bring him in and ask him.
Right.
If I remember asking him, he just put when it was last done and when the predicted.
Right.
So that there's no, it's just, well, it's about time it should be done as opposed to,
No,
they can.
No,
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 it's
he-
after
he-
so many years, it should need this done to it.
It should, but if it's
we
built right,
asked
it may
him
not.
to look at the roads, to include that in
Right.
his determining factor, but I don't know all of them. But he was asked to.
Then perhaps maybe we shouldn't be calling it a 10-year plan. And perhaps we should be calling it something different, other than a
In your
10-year plan.
schedule,
10-year target.
Well, you've gotta have
Yeah, it is a
something in
schedule,
there,
but-
because we're raising and appropriating money for a capital reserve fund based on
Right.
this
well,
plan.
if you look
So
at
if
the,
you include,
because I've changed some of that around, if you look at my files, I have, what I shared with you guys, I have them down for every year, right up to 2030. Well, no, for the next 13 years, I have them already prioritized. But again, those roads will change, and you have to evaluate them every year, because it's a plan thing. And to Peter's point, some roads will hold up better than others. Like I was saying, some roads fall apart faster than others, some actually hold up better. And if we're coming up to a year and I go evaluate that road, and it really doesn't need to be little or anything done to it, then I will push it off a year or two, and maybe move something back into place that needs to be done sooner rather than later. So that's the part where the plan comes into play. It's a forecast. You can't nail anything down to say that in 5 years from now, we're gonna do this road, unless you have a special circumstance that you have dedicated to a particular road. Let's say Main Street was ours, or if we're gonna talk about the Main Street sidewalks, then we can say in 5 years from now, we're gonna do all of the sidewalks on Main Street. But you can't really say this is 110% gonna happen. That's why the 10-year plan is considered a living document, because it changes all the time.
well, it shouldn't change all the time.
No.
This is why we don't have any sidewalks done.
It has changed, it's just like their
Well,
house. if
there's
the
a
paint's not
minimal
peeling,
amount
you
of
gotta
change.
Right.
I get a minimal
A
amount
minimum.
of change, but,
Swap them. Well,
you know,
it could be-
swapping them
couple
every
years.
week for, every year for something different, that, particularly the residents, they look at it and they say, okay, or the budget committee, we look at it and we say, okay, in 2017, you know, Chestnut Street's gonna be done and Pine Street's gonna be done, and then 2018 Caleb's gonna be done. Well, they're gonna expect that, and then all of a sudden you'd say, well, you know what? Birch Drive's really bad, I'm gonna switch that for Caleb.
Well, we try to keep it as closely,
You can't really,
Yeah,
you really can't do that.
well, here's the thing, we try to keep it
I
as,
disagree. You're gonna base it on the current conditions of your road, so if you have
I
a,
get that there's emergencies that will come up,
well, no, you've
but
got
every
roads,
year, if you do that every year, it's really not a plan.
but you've got roads that have decent ditching, they're gonna hold up much longer than those that you've got water setting in the roadbed.
I get that, Peter.
Is that, you know, I look at the list, and I think Morrison was on there for 2016, and I live on Morrison, and, or, right, I use it every day, and I would say that if it looks as good this summer as it does now, but Grant Street had big potholes, and I'd say, you know, Grant Street should do that instead. You know, it's kind of to swap them out to who has the most need, who, you know.
Well, that's why we asked Johnny when we hired him to go look at the roads and make a priority of which he wanted, what he thought was best, and make the plan, and that's what he's got here. But
and that's how I see it. But the only thing I want you to realize is, don't hold me to that plan 110%, because there will be some changes. Dennis was correct in a lot of his assessments, and I think that's how they will fall for the most part, but I can see some things will change down the future, or I believe some things will change. And we'll try to stick to that plan, but there's gonna be hiccups, like this year when the fact that Westwood was not ready to be done because of the water issues that we had up there. Those kind of things happen, and they push things off. I guess Birch was due to be done last summer, but you put it off because the priority became the police station. You know, things happen. We will try to stick to the plan, but the plan has to have room to move and change. And as I see it right now, those roads look pretty much in line, because I did the plan, the new plan, and I did change some things around. The nice part about having a plan is it'll trigger me every year, because I went through all those roads and redid the calculations for the estimated cost. I'll continue to do that year by year. And it'll be at today's cost, or what I figure for today's cost. And then next year, if they're lower, eventually I'll end up lowering the amounts. But if they go up, I'll bring them up higher. There's no way I can really forecast in 10 years what it's gonna cost for asphalt and materials and everything else.
I think what I would do instead is put down quantities, so many square yards and so many estimated tons.
I could do that.
Joyce, in Johnny's email of 12/23, it lists all the way up to 2024, 28? Can you put those on the drive to share with everyone, or have Tim put them on the drive for us?
Yeah, I have the ones
Sent you an email.
from 12/27. I don't have your 10-year plan.
Oh, you don't have it?
No, you put it on January 23rd?
Route 3 being paved this past
No, I
year,
just sorted through all your
$12,000.
emails. I don't have that one.
On
I shared-
12/23, it was,
This year in Old Route 3.
Let's
I shared it on Google.
Huh?
all right, where's my
I'm looking
gavel?
on my-
One person at a time.
On
Joyce,
12/23.
23:15, it went to town admin. And I'll forward it to you again.
Okay, all right, I'm looking at I sorted by things from him, and I don't have a 12/23.
All right, we'll take a look at it then.
Okay, I
And then
have
all of us can take a
sidewalks.
Look at it and we'll talk about it later.
Absolutely.
You all set?
Yeah, I'll get Tim to print it out for me.
So John,
And then we'll have
how
it.
would we reclaim old Route 3
I think we
down by
need it all.
Marine, is it? The train
Yeah, I
house?
mean, you can't,
I agree.
Why would
it's
we
too
reclaim
You
it?
can't
Yeah,
do it up
it's
here.
listed as reclaim and pave, it's like, you get, what traffic does it get to begin with?
Not very much.
So why do the added expense of reclaim? I don't,
That's a kind of a placeholder. I don't know what it's gonna be by the time we get there, but that one.
well, that one was supposed to be done last year, looking at the plan I'm on.
Because I
Which
made
one
a
was that?
change.
The old Route 3 down by the Musqueam Market. And that was including reclaim. I'm looking at reclaim more for where you got lots of traffic, huh? No,
It's Old
no,
Route 3
no, it's
up
Old
from
Route
the
3.
Route
It's
Squad.
that's parallel to Route 3 as you come up to the lights.
Old Route 3 by the Anchorage
Oh,
is
it goes
still on
down
there
in-
too. And that needs to be taken
Yeah.
out because that's not our.
That's not ours, we determined it wasn't ours.
No, this one's,
Well,
okay,
this
yeah,
one's
that one, but the other one
49.
says Musqueam. That's the one I'm
See,
looking at.
one up by the cat house.
Okay.
Lobster Connection.
Yeah,
Got it.
thank you.
All right. We're all set with this one for now.
For now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll bring it back up.
Don't go back.
Johnny, this is all I have for 10-year plan, which is just these 5 roads.
Lana,
I don't have here.
got you coming up?
I'll set this with you.
How you doing?
You're not going to invite Kathy up? You're welcome, too.
I knew the answer to that.
This in your Google Drive.
You said you emailed it,
So,
January
our-
23rd.
I think we asked
She
you
said
back
you
here, and the
voted,
board can
What I did, if you go to Google
correct me
Drive,
if I'm wrong, we asked you because there was no assurances
and go to
for
share
some
with
of the
me,
work that's done, and we had
it
problems
should
with
be in here.
the
Like, I
work
try to share everything with you, and I send it
washed out
Okay,
where it
where
washed out, and there were
Your
extra
work schedule,
work to be done to fix it.
work schedule.
We don't have any assurances that that will
in. It would be
come
in
to
order.
fruition in the spring.
Work
And
to
what
December.
happens if it doesn't? And
I think,
Pending
I
road
mean, I think you
projects.
call us, and
Yeah.
I think if anything you look at over the years in our track record of working with you
Those are
and
the
working
ones
with
that just,
Joyce,
Those are
and
the
when
ones
you
that I
get
have.
money, I mean,
Oh, you should
I
have.
drove by it today, I mean, the place looks great. I mean, and we look at the fencing, and so that's,
I have to listen to
you
this.
know, I feel what we've delivered and the value we've given the town, you know, to date over the last 2 years, I think has been tremendous. I think the town has paid $0 for that whole park so far, and I think working with Joyce, and I think the effort that I've put in, I think has been, you know, I think has been tremendous, and I think to be holding 44 grand for us for what we've done over the last 2 years, I think it's hard, for me to take, because it's, I don't know, it's disappointing, because I feel like we've done a really good job on this, and again, 44 grand of disappointment to me seems substantial.
Well, being a former person in construction, normally you have some money held over to cover for like a year to make sure any plantings, whatever, catch for any erosion issues, whatever. So we cut the check, we have words, but do the words hold up in court is my question.
Unfortunately, we
Well,
don't have the
either.
luxury of us being able to take your word because we represent the town. It'd be
Right.
one thing if we were individually working with you, and I do think you've done a great job, but we don't have that.
But right.
Is there,
One of the things, though, that we did when we were talking, we tried to get as much work as we could get done with the limited funds. And I think when you look at what we've got done, we did strategize on how to get the most bang for all the dollars that we have. One of the things was if you want to look at in court, I mean, we're not going to go to court over anything, you know what I mean? And so I think, I know that's what you have to be careful of, and, but also, I mean, no one wins when that happens for for the work that needs to be done. I mean, we worked and tried to get the Conservation Commission agreed to help with with the watering. I mean, they're doing the watering, it's sort of, we work as a team and always, we feel like in partnership with you as a town to get the project done, and now it's come to the end and you want us to sort of guarantee everything when we put all that, if you had guarantees or needed, we wouldn't have gotten as much done because we would have to cover that. You know what I mean? And
not exactly.
well,
Because
we are
the problems that
over 6 months that we have to, when you look at, I mean, we would
Right.
factor that into pricing, and Belknap would also.
But the problem I think that we're concerned about, that we have experiences whenever we've had,
Yeah,
heavy rain, and we're due to have those this spring,
yeah.
we have severe erosion problems in 2 locations. And that's engineering, that's design, not,
Well, it's not design, it's the stabilization of it.
Well,
And
that's
I mean,
design,
if you were to
isn't it?
throw, no, it's I mean, if you look at it, we were on hold all summer, we wouldn't have had the issue if we didn't have to demote from the site and have DOT do their work, so I don't,
right, so if you had planted the grass in the spring, maybe it would have grown and we would have had sod, is that what you're saying? I mean, so why didn't we in the fall lay down sod instead of plant seed to prevent erosion?
that would be additional cost also.
But it wasn't even an option.
You're saying.
It wasn't presented as an option to us to prevent that erosion, so we could move on from there because of these delays. I mean, the fact remains, we have a site that's not stable.
Right.
Whether it was delayed or not, it's not stable. So what we're looking for from Kadiri, I think, or at least I am, is
Yeah.
some assurance, guarantee, maybe a written statement from you that says, if we still experience this unstabilized area, that you will come in and
Okay,
Prepare.
I think that's a reasonable thing. The other thing I want to also just to say is, this is the work that we do is for municipalities just like yourself. I'm sure we're very small. If something, you guys aren't happy, you tell, everyone knows, and suddenly we don't have any other clients. So it's, what I mean? It's not in our long-term interest. We don't do low-cost work where we're just gonna, whoever takes the next lowest bid is gonna hire us no matter what you think. And so, I don't know what else. The other thing I'll say is the erosion that occurred too is, I mean, when you look at those rains that we had, I mean, those were, I shouldn't say unprecedented because it's probably, becoming much more of a normal occurrence. But that was a manageable, you know what I mean? That erosion was very manageable if it wasn't, where towards the end of the fall and in the wintertime, where you don't get any growth. I mean, there's not much you could do at that point. But I do think once the spring comes, you are gonna get the growth coming in, and again, if it takes something with Belknap or us that, I know that Chuck wants to make sure all the socks are done, and that is something we have to do. And to make sure that that's done.
So maybe that's what we're looking for, some kind of living document that just states this. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but,
I'd like to hear
or the
what
conservation
Chuck, do you
commission
have anything
feels.
to say?
Well, you know, I mean, those were unusual rains last fall. There's no question about that. And, you know, the one comment that I had, and I've made this to several people, which is those socks that are currently in place now are better than what was there before the rains. If those socks had mostly all been put in place before those rains, the erosion would not have been as bad. And they need to stay in place until the grasses there are growing well, even if it takes all summer. And I don't care what it looks like. I mean, it's there for protection, you know, and I think the worst part of the erosion was down over the embankment. And to be honest with you, that was all part of what was done by Quantum and with the trail way down there after the fence got put in. So some of that wasn't just simply the lack of grass growing in there. There was a whole lot of issues, you know. And I think the elevation of that may have ended up being a little bit higher. So, and, you know, I mean, it was never like a drainage swale put down over the side. And what are you gonna do with all that water cheating off there?
Oh, you're talking about.
Yeah, down closer to the trestle.
I wasn't even considering
That's where the
that.
greatest erosion was, though.
Right, I'm just talking about what we experienced on our side.
Yeah.
And actually not, I mean, the fact that it happened there too, so it's not like we, you know, we follow a standard of practice for the industry for that. They did similar practices and it failed also, so it's not like theirs held up perfectly and it was just ours, so that showed that we did something wrong.
I think in general, things are in good shape.
I think it was an excellent
I think it
experience.
was really an excellent experience. I totally agree with that.
I think Rick did a good job.
I would highly recommend it again. But like I said, I mean, if the rest, what does the rest of the board think of just having an agreement?
So if you give us an agreement, and if it washes away and fix it or whatever, I'm all for giving you the money. That's my own personal feeling.
Peter?
To start, I just think it was, when it was first drawn up, we made mistakes.
I think we made mistakes, not,
That's on
not,
us.
that's correct, that's on us. And that we should have maintained in a contract at some point in time that there was a contingency built in there. That's on us, not Rick. And that's a lesson well learned.
But here we have him before us, and he's willing to sign an agreement with it.
Right, but can I also just,
That goes to
excellent
character, right.
can I also just to clarify though, when you say agreement, I mean, to us, we're still a part, like if something, you know what I mean, to work together, not that
Yeah.
we're gonna say you have to do everything, but also, you know what I mean, to work with resources that we have available to us, I guess is what I wanna just clarify, it's
Of
not.
course, the problem too is this board has been burned, particularly in the past, by
Other firms.
others. So we're still experiencing that. I will, again, the experience with your firm was outstanding.
No, it's been a great process.
I think it was a tough situation. We put ourselves up against the fence there with the weather coming in, and perfect timing for the storm, and then a second storm came in just like that, that rained a lot. And so our concerns are a lot of that had to be put back, you know, to patch it back, to make sure that that's gonna, you know, stay, that you'll support us. I'm sure we'll work alongside with everything. There's very little tweaks here and there.
John will pick up his own lawn, plant sod down.
We could stabilize
I
it.
don't think you've done that much lawn, do you, John?
The grass growing in the summer when it's so warm, it's about the grass. we can do it.
Oh,
Go to the yards
and can you plan? It won't allow me access to do that.
Do we need a motion or just a consensus?
all.
And Joyce and Rick can write something up?
I think it's just a consensus.
A motion to reduce the check.
You can make a
He's
motion.
already got the signature.
So
The
we
check
sign
is
the
right
manifest.
here.
If we sign the check right now,
Can't we just
and
hand
you
this to
agree
him?
with it,
Well, the
Just
checks,
hand
the
it to
checks
her.
all
Thanks.
We can just hand it to
We
her.
have
They do
it.
agreement now.
That's the check.
Yeah,
Can you-
it's in the,
If
in
you
your
want to make a
folder.
motion to do that.
Hey, I'll make a motion to release the check to Quinn. Anybody?
Oh, second, I'm sorry, I was trying to figure out how to.
All those in favor?
Yes.
You just talk with Joyce, okay, or an agreement. Yeah, thanks.
Need one more vote.
Yes.
Did we say yes?
We all said yes.
No,
Did you say no?
no,
All those
everybody
opposed?
says yes.
You said,
I'll let you do the others. Madam Chair?
make sure.
So do you want me
Joyce,
to,
make sure that this is what he gets.
I'm sorry, make sure it's what? Okay.
Just verify I ripped out the right check. I can't imagine we have more than one.
No, it was all in one check.
Well, we took the top one off.
I had one more thing.
Oh.
On
Is
Yeah,
it-
no, yeah, he gets.
Earth Day of next
He
year,
gets
we're
that too.
planning our
Yeah, I heard.
That's
opening. So
Yeah.
there it's
I'll be there.
it's kind of exciting.
That's gonna be it.
All right, so I think I'm gonna have a state with it.
Yeah. Make sure it's still here.
Oh, pretty much. They're already gonna jump in the water afterwards, but I don't know if they're.
Thank you.
90 degrees in July.
I just want to check one more thing, because I think it says it won't be cashed out for so many days, it's void after 90 days, has it been 90 days?
What's the date on it?
What's the date on it?
Okay, well, thank you, I mean, I do
Hope we didn't do
appreciate
it
it.
in 90 days.
I do look back when we first looked at Ernie's and with what you guys were trying to do and acquiring, and that I did, really like the initiative that you guys took in order to do what you did, and that's kind of, our firm helps to sort of push, those types of projects forward.
You mean
I
you
think you
turned a
did a
nightmare into
fantastic
a
job.
dream?
Yeah, you did. And you looked for money when we didn't have it in different places, which was phenomenal for us, and got the job done, so we're grateful for that.
Well, thank you, I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk with
All right.
Joyce on.
Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, good.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. It's okay, so it's fine. Yes, we got
Chuck?
So you want to just give us a
John
little, I'll
just
see you in
asked,
the
is there
spring.
anything about the election?
And the one thing is,
Discuss
We're
it.
gonna
we've
get
worked in a
together to do
partnership this whole
it.
project too, and as long as that enjoys,
Delightful.
Okay.
I'll talk about that.
Oh,
I'd be
okay.
happy to,
And then maybe
just make sure.
Thursday?
Because we want to look nice for April 22nd,
Coming in tomorrow morning.
when everybody's there.
Okay, yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'll definitely see you. Put something in the middle of camera.
Okay.
See ya.
Have we,
Extra hands coming.
Okay.
have we unpacked the town clerk's new equipment for the ADA booth?
We're gonna be looking at that tomorrow.
You'll look at that tomorrow as well? Okay. And how that's
If
gonna
you're gonna help
function
set
with
that
the,
up, we'll,
we'll be at a meeting at the, fire department at 9. I don't know how long that is, but I'll come over afterwards, see if you're still here.
well, we'll probably, there's a lot of ballots, so by the time we get testing, probably at least noon.
Okay, that's it. I'll come straight here afterwards. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night, Mrs. Mitchell.
It's okay.
Good night.
She said, just talk to the chief about brain damage.
So don't think that's weird?
Emergency operations.
But
The fire station
I don't, I saw that, it says police fire at the fire
Weird
station.
with me.
It's emergency operations.
Put it in the
type
selectmen's
thing.
here.
Chief will be here at 6.
Oh, okay.
You want to parrot that, John?
Ditto.
Who would that be?
Johnny?
Found it. Found it. Selectmen's dashboard.
Yeah. The old one or the new one?
No, now that's only showing 3 streets. Here's another one. It's only showing certain streets. Is there something that's on a grid?
Every year, I
The
sent you.
email that I just sent to you
Oh.
has like
Let me
10
go to-
different years.
There's a
Inbox.
whole bunch of documents separate. They're not, it's
They're
not
not-
one document.
they're
You have
not
to
one
open-
document.
You have to open them
Oh,
all
okay.
up.
Yeah, I made it out for a plan for every single
So
year.
if we can have it as one document, that would be great, and print it out so that we can
Yep.
know what we're doing.
I can't
Okay.
condense it into,
The format is much different than what we've had in the past,
Okay.
I can change it to
but
an
there's a lot more
Excel.
information.
Okay, what's next?
Well, I guess my updates, because I don't know if you guys want to deal with the winter maintenance policy, because it just recently.
We can put that on the agenda for next week.
Next week's fine. Because we're working under a policy now anyway, so. But it's mostly updated and changed much.
There were a couple of things in there that I saw.
A lot of good fixing.
Yeah.
Good, thanks. So no, we did just update, we started to fill the rink last week I was telling you about. We went down Friday to redo it again and it was frozen. We finally got it thawed out today. So they put some more water in it, I'm hoping it won't be frozen tomorrow.
Which tap are you using?
The one inside the building,
And that one's freezing?
that one froze. But
Is the heater working?
yeah, it was up top though, it was up here, so we put it on the bottom, and hopefully that'll help it. It's not quite as cold as it was, so it might
Well, we got
actually.
moved over the summer from the bottom to the top.
Yeah, but this winter's been,
It's been mild, but we
what,
got some.
30 degrees
cool.
warmer than
We've
last
had some
winter,
very cool
and
nights.
it's freezing a lot more than it's ever frozen.
Never
Well, last-
questioned it.
You gotta remember when I started it too, because I was waiting on cold weather, because I wanted to ground. I started it, we had that really decent cold snap. It wasn't cold, but might have been just enough. So we're gonna try again tomorrow. It's coming along pretty decent now that everything's frozen, so we'll build it up layer by layer.
Next year, we have to start sooner.
And the other,
Well, we didn't have the weather this year. I could have
You
put
know, we
water
had
in
some
it,
pretty
but
cold weather
the two outside ones don't work?
that we missed. But
no,
then
nothing
we-
came through to them. I mean, I opened them up and once we had the pump turned on and nothing was happening.
For the
Is it
hydrants?
skatable, John?
Yeah.
Not yet.
The hydrants, you should never do that.
Those hydrants
Those
should
hydrants.
be front frozen.
The two ones that stick up out of the ground, with the handles on, nothing came out of them, period.
Is there a shut off for them?
Now what happens when you shut them down, you've got to close them off and they drain back, otherwise if you leave it open,
That's right.
the air goes in and then it'll freeze. I did that the first year.
So are they
Yeah.
closed?
They're closed, yeah, we re-closed them, because they were clamped down with an Alex screw.
No,
Somebody
No,
did.
you
No,
just open the
no.
handles up and down, that's all you
no,
do.
then the sliding part was frozen. The Allen pipe you don't even have to touch.
No,
Oh, okay, maybe I did that wrong, because it wasn't moving very easy, and so I unloosened that, and then I was able to
Oh.
move it.
yeah, no, what you did is, yeah, you disconnected it from its,
Okay, well, I'll give that a try again tomorrow, but. I guess
if they don't move readily,
Yeah, I
they are
wasn't forcing
frozen.
it. Yeah, I
For
wasn't-
some reason, they're frozen. They shouldn't be, but they are.
All right.
Oh.
Next.
Rest is pretty much business as usual. We've been doing, this time of year, kind of hard to find stuff to keep everybody busy and stuff is done, but we're gonna be starting painting probably next week. We'll start cleaning the offices and the hallways and stuff. It's due for a clean job. They've done an excellent job. They wash the walls every year and all the tracking for the ceiling and everything. But it's time to spruce it back up.
Riverfront Park needs to be de-iced and kept de-iced. It's the bathrooms that are closed, but because of the federal monies that are involved in it, that park is
I was wondering.
a
about that.
four-season park. So typically around the pavilion, that gets very icy.
Mhm.
And Tim was over there today, and they almost fell. So that needs to be kept de-iced. You don't have to shovel the paths
That's
at
what I
this
was wondering.
point.
I don't know exactly what we do take care of it, and nobody mentioned anything as far as.
We just make sure there's no hazards to people using it. And typically that pavilion area where the bricks and stuff are, get icy.
Okay.
We don't shovel them, except for the front path we keep open because of the camera system in there that we have to access and the maintenance room. But we do keep the front path open, Dennis. just because, as I said, for maintenance purposes, we have to be able to do
The
maintenance.
front
right?
path from Route 3 to.
From Route 3,
So we do keep that one cleared out. Okay. I can make sure that.
and then keep it all de-iced so people don't fall.
Okay.
We don't shovel off the steps.
Mhm. So
It's
just
a
under 2.
skateboarder paradise, skis and snowshoes. Kids with bodies and stuff.
We can do that.
But as long as it's on, local metric.
And that was pretty much it. I mean, it's winter time, so there's not a lot going on. We don't have a lot of construction projects. So here and there, as you see in the reports that I send you every week, ice spews out on the road. Always got an ice spew, so we spend quite a bit of time cleaning those up because right now, frankly, we don't have any snowbanks. Snowbanks really help keep the water back off the road. But it hasn't been too bad, except for one spot in Gable Hill, even Lancaster's staying in for the most part. So everything's running pretty smooth right now.
I'm happy.
Have they started the
If
tree
you're happy,
project?
I'm happy.
When are they starting the tree project on Manville?
Joyce and I were gonna talk to you about that. They're going to start the tree project on Manville February 1st.
Oh, you want to come up? Yeah, because I got my questions. Brian, the logger, came in today. Okay, he wanted to know if we had a place to dispose of the chips and brush, and they'll also have chips that will have dirt in them from the stumps. It isn't cost effective for them to have to pay to haul them away, so they want to know if there's any place they could dump them locally.
So what they're doing is they're gonna cut them for saw logs, and you're talking about chips from the brush?
From the brush and the stump.
Yeah. Because if they came into chip, then they'd take everything but the stumps.
So they are gonna take the logs.
That's why they're able to give you such a good price.
City logs,
Um,
barbed wire in them.
Can they dump them up in our burn pile?
Well, we can, but he's talking an estimated of 21,
No,
1 ton?
yeah, 20, he's figured 21 ton.
21 ton truckloads. What I could do, I have had a couple of people come and ask about taking some of our material away. One was Dan Swain, and I can find out who the other one was, I can't remember his name. I might be able to contact them and ask them if they want them to drop that directly where they wanted them. So, but I don't think, Arthur mentioned the idea of taking them to the school, but I don't know if the school can burn that kind of stuff.
No, and
No,
he said
they
the
don't-
stuff from the
but that
stump.
is
dirty chips.
Yeah. So I might be able to come up with a couple of spots to put most of it.
So he's
Well-
looking for some dump sites.
And so I'll look over the next day or two, try to find places.
Well,
where-
if
Always
you
coming
push back,
Monday.
if you push back the banks, right at the railroad track, you got that big gravel area by the, one of the gates to the now field area, the area that got raped.
We don't own that.
Huh?
We don't own that property.
How wide's our right of way up at that end of the road?
It's 60 feet, so
You own a fair amount of that gravel.
I don't know, did you put any stakes out? And there
Not
was
up
going to be a
there.
pile of chips there?
Huh?
I'm talking on Manville, well, we.
Yeah, right on Manville,
Yeah,
right
well,
at,
we pulled out the, good thing I hadn't taken that plan yet to 3M, because we pulled that out, looked at that. He said he definitely had room to put his equipment, and he definitely could work and chip without encroaching on Manville's property. But he didn't know where he could put the material, put the chips. And that's a big pile of chips.
Is that brush and chips? Or
yeah.
is that all chips?
No, it's brush. It sounds like he's.
I think
cutting
it's
logs.
brush,
Yeah.
because the only chips is gonna be from the stumps.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if you
Yeah, he
filled a
said-
dump truck with that
He
chip.
said chip disposal and brush disposal.
Yeah, so we're looking at brush.
Mhm.
99% of that is brush.
Can't chip that stuff?
Yeah,
But
I
you-
thought they were.
They are
Brush
gonna
chips.
chip it, but it's
Where do you pile
it's
it?
just a lot
Branches,
of
line
leaves and.
branches.
Are they bringing in a chipper to chip the brush?
Sounds like it to me, yeah.
Yeah,
Or are they gonna haul brush? Because you said he was looking for a place to put brush.
it's gonna be chipped. He's gonna chip it.
Then he's not looking for a place to put brush.
No, this will chip it.
Okay.
It's chipped, but it's brushes.
It's
Brushes
the
that's
limbs
chipped
and
on.
things that are
Not
not chipped.
right, and that's different, different quality for what people are looking for.
Well, but when you first came up and sat down, you said he was
Right.
looking for a place to put brush.
So I can call a couple contacts tomorrow, I may be able to come up with a spot for at least a majority of it, and then whatever else can come to the highway department. It's just I wanna be conservative because we don't really have a lot of room, and we, a lot of usable space to put that.
But now that you have that chipper, we could chip brush and then offer the chips to residents,
Yeah, anytime they want them, because,
which would be a great service.
That's a lot of trees, 53 trees.
yeah, that's gonna be a lot of, I actually think that's a very conservative
Say
estimate.
what? 53 trees?
Yeah.
Is there a way to notify some of the
I did.
people that are, live in that area that could be inconvenienced, that they may want to? get
Seek
the road
alternative
blocked up?
routes?
There are
Yeah.
no alternatives.
You know, to drop some of that off or make
Put the
access
bridge
for
back
a
across.
couple roads or something, because, you know, a lot of people scatter it.
Well, to be honest with you, we should put a few roads there, well,
Put a
know
free-
exactly how much and put free on it if people want to take it. But, out of their work way.
Who owns the land across the street that was supposed to be ball fields when Tanger first went?
Conservation area.
Can that be a temporary storage area or not?
Well, the other thing, I gave Kenny Partridge's
Yeah,
phone
without
number,
permission.
because Kenny has a
Kenny
a
puts
yard.
some around.
He
Yeah.
stores stuff.
It's pretty rough chips.
No, they
He'd
did
have to
that
pay.
one year.
He'd have to
Who's,
pay to dispose of it.
Who went in and, cut all the brush? Or does it not go that far? You know the old barn? Is that part of the conservation area?
I'd have to look at it.
Yeah.
Because they were in there last fall, chipping, I'm not sure if they
Is
were
that on
falling.
the power
It
lines?
may be the power line.
Yeah,
You don't need any chips
power
anywhere.
lines came through last fall for sure.
No,
I think it was behind my house.
No, they're not gonna be-
naturalized.
They're not gonna be great chips, they're gonna be.
No, these are gonna be really rough.
It's mulch.
Well, they're fine.
It would be
Yeah, they have a lot
mulch,
of things.
people might want to.
This is gonna be
Roots under the
mulch that'll
trees.
take years to mulch.
Mhm.
I know, because I have a chipper and I chip and I use it,
Mhm.
and it's there
Well,
for
either way,
years.
it's his responsibility to dispose of it. He just didn't know if there's any place that the town owned it.
Would we leave some where the stumps were?
No, you're supposed to
No.
cover them with dirt, so it's as though they were
Oh,
Oh,
not
that was the
there.
other thing. He said there'll be a
John,
lot of
the
dirt.
shoulder's
that-
higher than the road.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't know if that.
The what is?
The shoulder's higher than the road.
Mhm.
Well,
So
I
once
guess we'll
they get
just
the
have to
stumps
get
going, we can
creative
at least
and
bring-
see what you can find and.
I'll look around, I might be able to come up with a
Yeah.
couple of places, like Joyce said, Kenny's a good one too. So
We-
I'll look around and see what I can come up with to help them out. In worst case scenario, I can take some to the highway department, I just.
Landscapers might want it.
They
I don't know
might.
what for, but it's pretty rough.
Yeah, sometimes people might want it because it takes, you can take it, stabilize your banks a little bit or something.
So you're gonna find a place.
I'll do
Good
my
enough.
best to find a place.
Good.
So, and he's gonna, he wanted to know if we could close one lane. He said he's probably gonna work between 8 and 4.
Well, they're probably gonna have to regardless.
And he said he has all the signage and
Any other
barricades and he has flaggers. He said.
Certified flaggers?
35 flaggers?
Certified.
Oh, I didn't ask him.
Do we have
They have to
certified
be
flaggers in the
certified.
downtown area for all that parking that's closing lanes off?
So
And he figured he would be working between the hours of 8 and 4.
as long as they leave the space wide enough for the trucks to get through to 3M.
Right.
And school buses.
And the residents.
And the residents.
Well, if the tractor trailers can get through, I imagine the residents can as well.
We should probably notify,
Yeah, and then we also,
Residents and
yeah, we
3M.
talked about that, of notifying the residents.
coordinate with their.
Boy, you don't have
Everybody
time.
gets out at one time.
Peter's gonna go over the weekend and knock.
Door to door?
Can we, Joyce, can we?
He doesn't have a job
alert
then.
Tilton for that?
Yeah.
He doesn't-
No, I
don't
just
know how
had
many
a
people from
quarter
Danville
semester
are on
and
it,
grades
but we'll
due
do that.
next
We'll
week.
put it on the website.
Yeah,
Boy, that variable message board would have been handy.
Maybe the Public Works could get a
Nice if
real
the
quick
town
sign
had
that
a
said
message
tree work
board.
to
Should have a couple.
commence.
Yeah, we'll just do
We'd use them.
Yeah.
Just something simple, tree work beginning
Monday.
Monday, 8 AM.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. We'll just use
Take
the
one of your
signs.
4x4 signs and spray paint it. Doesn't have to be real neat.
Yeah, just gotta be right.
Do like the construction guys do when they flip them over and.
All right, let's move
And
on.
the other thing, I also told him that you, once he gets started, you're gonna go down there and connect with him so he knows you're the project
Yeah,
manager.
and I'll check on him on.
Check on him.
At least a daily basis, so that, to make sure that everything's going smooth. Did you get an estimate how long he was expecting?
He didn't, he wanted to know if you had a deadline. So,
But he doesn't get to start the job, leave and come back.
We should have it complete within
Wow.
30 days, I would think. Wouldn't that be reasonable?
No, well, no, what's gonna be his deadline will be when you post the road.
Yeah.
I think we should set a deadline.
Yeah.
I'd say prior to road posting. As long as the road bed's fine.
Seems like a nice guy, and we have his W-9 and we have a certificate of insurance.
Another
And
point,
that
we
way-
shouldn't limit that much after 30 days.
Well, and he's,
Well, if he's good, he'll have to have done in a week or two.
It's a good idea to set a time so that he doesn't jump on another job just to save it, come back in July.
I'm with John, 30 days.
30 days? Yeah.
From the start.
was that in the bid documents?
No,
So-
but
so-
it,
so
it's
now
in
you're
our
opening-
documents right now, because he's asking,
And we're answering.
and we're answering him. Okay,
Okay.
ready,
So,
I think, we're all set with that? Okay.
so we're clear?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him I'd give him a call, let him know what you decided.
Start sharpening
Start sharpening?
saws.
Oh.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Give before and after picture.
Yeah.
Get it before and after?
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that.
I'm sure he told me how many people
I think
he
they
had
make the
had
town
helped
report.
him.
Did he say whether he's climbing?
I asked him that, he said, no, he's not a climber. He says he can, but not on this job, they're using buckets.
I wouldn't be climbing those trees, not many of them.
Why?
Some of them look pretty scary.
They're still green though.
If
He's
you've
on
got a
another thing.
bucket,
He
use
said
the
on some of the
bucket.
trees,
Climb
there's
the pine
signs
trees
that
to
are
the
manual
tops.
signs. He said he'll make sure he takes those off and gives them to the town and can do whatever. You want to get back to man.
We should get back to manual time. I wonder if that's something that we should have Public Works do.
I need clarification. You guys keep talking about Manville like it's somebody who isn't.
Green.
John's Manville back in the day
The
Oh,
asbestos
was
company.
the original.
Used to be.
That's the original company?
Yes.
Okay. I just didn't know.
And I just
We're
about
not saying
everybody worked there
Quinty.
at one point or another in town,
Huh?
just like
Quinty.
Arwoods. Everybody still calls
Yeah,
across the river Arwoods.
but it's not Quinty Road.
No, but it's over by Quinty.
All right, let's move on.
All right, thank you, Johnny.
So, the signs, should we have Public Works take them off? I mean, if he starts taking them off and he's not real careful, they get destroyed, ripped.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't put down anything.
Get out tomorrow, take them off carefully and just deliver them to Manville? Does everybody think?
Yeah, we can do that.
Or is it now 3M?
Which,
3M now.
which signs?
I'm fine as long as I know.
It's 3M.
The ones that they have on our trees that say no trespassing.
Oh, those.
can I, maybe now would be a good time for me to talk about the heating, because I noticed when I was up there this morning, there's leakage up in one of the tiles up there. Have you seen that? It looks like it's been there for a while. That's the first I noticed it. And also, too, the other tiles on the stage are sagging down. Also, when I had Robert Ozier come, he's a burner and furnace repair person. That's all he does. And he's done work for a lot of, I don't know, he's probably done work for you, he's done work for a lot of people locally.
I've used him in the past, he's really good.
And I said, I just want you to come and give me an assessment. I need your opinion on what is going on here. And so Johanna and I spent quite a bit of time going through everything. And he was here for roughly 3 hours, looking at everything. And what he is suggesting is, what he explained, is that, yes, those two radiators are attached to this thermostat, and he tested them repeatedly, turning down the heat, they immediately get cold, clicking the heat on, wait a minute, you go in there, you touch the window, goes through the floor, they're on. Over 3 hour period he tested it. And secondly, he said there's no way that those registers there on the upstage are ever gonna get warm, because number one, you've got cold air coming up the stairs, and the doors are open. In fact, when we were here this morning, that door was open, and the door going to the bathroom was open. So you've got cold air blowing in there, you've got cold air coming down from the roof stairs, you've got cold air from not only the roof in that room there, but also through the wall. You've got cold air coming out from the underneath the stage. And the window was open
What
in there,
window?
the window in the bathroom. So he said,
There's
oh,
no window
yeah,
in the bathroom.
there's no window in the bathroom.
There's
right
no window in the
behind-
bathroom.
The
right
sink
behind
area
the
she's
radiator.
talking, Catherine, not the
Oh,
toilet.
up
Okay.
up on the level, okay.
Yeah,
I'm like,
level.
there's no window in the bathroom, it's an inside
So I was
bathroom.
like, well, here's part of your problem.
I was like,
I wonder who.
Close that, pushed it down,
Who
and he
in
said,
hell
you
would
put your
open that
hand.
window?
Hmm?
Who in hell would open
I
that?
I don't know.
Well, I know it wasn't our clean person, because the toilet has looked like it's been cleaned at heart.
You notice?
Okay, well,
Johanna and I
somebody opened the
don't,
window.
we don't open
and-
windows up there because it doesn't affect us. We open that window. because
So
there's no
anyway,
window.
and he said that right next to where the pipe comes through the floor, you put your hand in there, it's ice cold air coming in.
From
Ice
where?
cold, from the window. So he said, have your highway guys button up the place, fix the window, and he said, open up the shower. Then the air will all equalize.
I like that, open the shower curtain.
So he didn't tell you much more than what Brian told you.
Right, and he also said that but he did confirm what Brian had said, that if to put that on a separate thermostat, to put that on its own loop, you have to re-pipe.
Why would you put that on its own loop?
There, someone had suggested.
Yeah.
that one of these.
Oh, no, I think we talked about
And
taking
he said
Heather.
that he said that is, he said,
We-
put in baseboard heat, that would be very, very.
We had talked about taking Heather off, because Heather's
Right,
is on this loop, so we keep it cool.
yeah. He said,
She's
he
still.
said, why aren't your fans running? And I said, well, because of the dust and stuff. He says, well, he said, you should set your thermostats. He says, don't have anybody touch the thermostats. Have your fans where it's blowing the air down. He said, open that up, button everything up, put something there to insulate that window.
Well, instead of repainting the offices down at the highway garage, they could be rebuttoning up here.
This is what I'm thinking. This gauge, the cold air that comes
This
out.
panel, you can't just close it here, because this is the culprit for most of that air. Somebody has to go underneath there
And
and button
insulate
up all the
underneath.
chases, where all the pipes come through.
Wait
Wait till you see what's in there that needs to be hauled out.
Yeah, the other thing is, even by keeping that bathroom door closed, if we insulate the bottom half of that window, keep the bathroom door closed and the door going to the stage closed, it should stay relatively warm there. It's just that when in here calls for heat, and you guys are being blasted, okay, the heat does go on in there. It does, it really does.
But here's the thing,
And I'm testing
unless
it.
you're saying the heat doesn't go from the standpipe in the bathroom to the radiator. I mean, even Joe's gone over there with these radiators hot, and that radiator is stone cold. It shouldn't-
Stone cold,
It should be
although
at
it
least
isn't right now.
warm or tepid.
Right, well, that's why, right next to the thing, I talked to Johanna, we're keeping a list there, and we're doing an experiment. We're doing the time, the temperature, what that is, and going in and touching and feeling that to see, just to prove that we're not losing our.
Because I've seen warm radiators here
Mhm.
and stone cold radiators up here.
Right, and he's
I've
saying that's
also
because
seen the
there's
ones
nothing
on-
insulating anything
the,
up there.
the ones on the stage will be warm to the touch, and that one will be stone cold.
But the supply line
and Al
should
was
be
with
at
us.
least warm.
And every time I've touched it, the supply line has been warm. So I'm trying to catch it when the supply line isn't.
That would be
Maybe
great.
not.
I mean, weatherization, we've been saying that for a couple of weeks now.
And Al said, which I had completely forgotten this, that the ceiling over that bathroom is no different from the ceiling. Now, when you go up those little stairs and you're up there, you're looking at the roof.
And
So
you
there's
need to
no
check that,
insulation over the top of
you
that
need
bathroom.
to check the ceiling, Johnny, where it's, did you look at that?
The two tiles that are bowed down, I think it's just a matter of putting them back on the track. The wet area over here, it's either brand new or it's really old, but it doesn't look active.
Right, it doesn't look active.
We haven't had any rain, or there wasn't any snow
And
up
we
there.
checked to make sure that the drain pipe thing was plugged in. And then, remember we had talked about having the roof, re-seamed? So we might
Yeah.
want to think about that.
It's
So anyway,
good.
so if you guys are looking for things to do,
No, that's a big one, actually, it might take a while. We'll come up, we'll get together with you and maybe Al, he might know some of it, so we'll try to investigate a little bit, come up with a plan back.
now, there's just one question, so, since I came up this afternoon, has anybody touched the thermostat? Or if you do, all you have to do is just write it down in the time and the temperature.
Took my sweater off.
Oh, I know, well, I got rosy
I pulled my
cheeks.
sweatshirt on as soon as I get up.
It's
Whoa.
74, Joyce, is that what it should be?
Okay, I had cranked it up before I left for lunch.
To 74?
Yeah, and so is that pipe
That's what it
coming up the
says.
floor?
The bottom part says it is indeed 74, and so,
Okay, and I'll go check in the bathroom. The other thing he fixed was, remember how Gail's office was always so cold, and Tim was always complaining, and, you know, with Tim, it's like,
Yeah, very uneven heat between the
Yeah.
three.
he fixed that.
What was it?
There's two valves on each side of that zone. And I do remember when our contractor had to replace the valve. And I think that when he did that, he neglected to turn the. So we've been blasting all day today.
Nice.
So we all learned a lot. Everybody, it was a group project of everybody working together to solve it. So it was good.
Yeah,
I think it was well worth it having him go through it.
Definitely. Yeah, because I haven't been back there at all, and I don't know what's back there, but it sounds like it's a lot of water.
Yep.
So it might take us some time, but we'll definitely get on it.
The wizard's behind the curtain.
I'm gonna go check the pipe.
The wizard.
Never
Hey, no,
mind,
it
never
is.
mind the man behind the curtain.
I don't know. Did we have anybody else look at that, Joyce?
No, he's the only one I called Utah, that you suggested, and they don't do, boilers. The one on the corner?
At one point, PSNH was doing a thing for, it might have only been residential, but
Well, since
they would
there
give
was
you
something-
an assessment.
Burner?
Is it?
Forced hot water heat, natural gas boiler.
Did they not do gas, or did they not do?
Hey, you
I told her
bought
what we
it,
had, and she
water.
said, no, we don't do that.
Forced on air. This is
Right.
a board that's-
But we
Try to
don't.
check into it for you guys. At one point, PSNH was doing a
But anyway, that's good.
heating assessment, and they would come in for free and do,
they do
You had
heat
several.
and lights.
that for energy.
We've had
assessment.
several.
You have? Oh,
Nobody's ever caught this.
sounds like it would have been,
No brainer.
yeah. And
Why
I'll take-
is it that we don't use these fans?
Okay, that pipe is hot.
Because they've never been heated or dusted. If you use these fans,
Well, that would be on the,
downstairs.
Joe,
that can be on the highway list.
I think
Pardon?
Both
you'll
those
dust them.
pipes are hot.
Yes, I just checked on
Like
it.
a vacuum extension.
It's working now.
Get the thing-
And they
But
also-
like I say,
But still, it's freezing in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
well,
freezing in
the door
I think they probably
downstairs
would get
is,
dusty
it's
if
like
they were left
open
out.
to the outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
they
no,
still,
But they.
cracks. There's
So I
a
had
reason.
that door closed.
They still
My-
get.
Before I had that door
They
closed.
won't
If I were to close
kick
that
it off
door,
as much once they start, it just keeps
Yeah, the
going.
edges, it's just the edges that go.
I have,
Like
I have
over
radiant
here?
heat, and which is what we have here. So radiant baseboard heat.
Is it forced hot water or steam?
Mine is hot water. But mine's built right into the floor. And I know that you should have, in the wintertime, your fans on because the heat just rises. If you have them even on low, just move
I
them.
can close
Well, we don't have a problem.
It will warm up.
It's not waste, because if it's 74 right here,
Oh, that was the other thing I
it's
was
going to be
thinking.
under 80 degrees up there, that's a waste.
So I said for 2 weeks, I'm gonna monitor
Then it
this.
would probably be about
Yeah, you
70.
did bring
But I want to stay outside.
But if you, as John's saying, if you run the fans pushing it down, it'll keep your 68 at that laundry, you'll burn less.
And you won't
Yeah,
get
I
cold
know.
spots.
No, we just
in
have to
the
get the
lower-
fans.
I bet it's warmer up there, but
All
it's
right,
7
moving
degrees.
right along.
So, we're getting the fans clean.
Moving.
Right.
Sorry.
All right, are you finished with us, John?
Yeah, unless you guys have anything else for me.
I do. We have a mechanic. It would be nice to know what hours are being done mechanic, what isn't. I'd like to know how many hours it took to put the engine in the cruiser, so that we could make an educated guess. Is it worth our while to have a full-time mechanic, or is it cheaper to subcontract out all the mechanical work to local shops?
Okay, I can work on getting that done.
Oh, my God.
That goes on, did you turn the slips in, Jim? For those pair of slips,
Yeah,
Pair of slips for,
with all the PD work?
yeah, my dentist is like,
I did it
Oh,
about a month ago.
Because I know he puts the hours that are spent on each car.
this is white spot.
Yeah.
Recommended, so I'm saying I can work on that.
So did you tell Nick
And he
about
was-
how
I told him
Dred
to
wants to help him?
So we're supposed to get onto a
Okay, so
Get
they,
the
pattern
list
of
together.
doing one month.
They were on the spreadsheet.
Avery,
She called.
But the last time it had been a long time since we recommended.
yeah, she's a good person.
And so I don't know if Tim's got them on them now, but
If you
we
need
had a
some.
whole bunch of them. So,
So that gets turned in regulation, and then I think that gets into the spreadsheet, and then it can be monitored, what it costs for the PD stuff.
Sure.
For doing it, that's one thing they do.
Because if we're paying, half again as much for oil changes, we may want to consider, do we do that, or we take them out to auto serve, quick lube, whatever?
most places I've worked, the highway department, at least on their own vehicles, always did the oil changes and stuff.
Well, I understand, but if I'm paying $30 or so an hour, and we're taking more time, and it's costing us double what it does at another place, is it cost effective?
If all that stuff is true, then.
No, that's what, and I'm not saying it is or isn't, I have no,
We don't have
Data
a way
that-
of knowing. We've never gathered that information.
We used to, I did it when I was still in the budget.
Did you?
I kept it real good.
Okay. Moving right along.
that wasn't too painful, was it?
No, not too much.
We'll try to make it harder next time.
There was one other thing, was, I know I set up the, or sent the things over to Tim for the SDSs.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to Joyce, as long as you have the name of what it is and the manufacturer, I'll get the sheets and
Yeah.
I'll have them on there. So
Yeah.
that's a project that can be done. And I mentioned to Tim that after you list one of them on the sheet, you can just type them in that sheet. He was going to get some dots, so you can put a dot on the can or the sticker so you don't, you know what's been done, so you can go around the shop. Anything that doesn't have a green dot or something on it, you know it has to go on that place. Yep, and then I can take care of the rest of it, all the sheets down there for you and get a.
Yeah, because I'm sure that when we get it done, we're gonna have to stations for that, so that people can have access to what they're.
It can be anywhere in the building, you know.
I took pictures of the ones that are at the senior center. So you want me to just forward you the pictures
Do that.
of what the thing is?
Yeah,
Okay,
that'll work.
and then that will take care of all the senior.
Yeah, and I'll get that.
Okay. All right, moving right along, and with 6:02, we are 2 minutes behind schedule, let's move. Gee.
Yep.
Gales.
I emailed over my report yesterday and just to give an overview. Calls were off, but I also to kind of where we're at so far this year as far as arrests, accidents, and citations. 496 calls and 6 arrests. They're busy in detectives. I just had a meeting with them. They're working on a couple of cases. One of them's a drug and receiving stolen property case with meth and a bunch of power tools. And so with the help of that satellite device, they were able to pull off all the evidence off the phones. And
Oh, it's missing.
No,
We
I
don't have
didn't
your
get your
report.
report.
is Gail on here?
No,
Yesterday?
Yes,
Oh, she's here yesterday. Okay. That's why we're all looking dumb right now.
Yeah.
I don't have it.
No, it's January 21 is the first one I come to.
All right, go ahead, just brief us
Yeah,
with it, and
sure.
then just forward it to us. That'd be good.
And actually, I can do it from my phone.
Yep.
Detectives and I are working on a financial crime and ORC symposium on February 12th, so that's coming up next Friday. And actually 2 Fridays from now. And we have about 50 people coming. Manchester PD, Concord PD, Nashua, Salem, Conway, and then New Hampshire Retail Merchants, and then Bank of New Hampshire, Escoma Bank. And we're going to be talking about skimmers, financial fraud, those sorts of things. It's going to be kind of one of a kind. We haven't done anything like this in New Hampshire yet. And so Irving is sponsoring it, and it should be good. We're going to try and do that once a year. We're also planning a tabletop exercise with ones from high school. We have a meeting tomorrow morning at the planning meeting at the fire station. The exercise is scheduled for the 29th. And this morning they did one at 10 o'clock up at Tilton School. And basically, they tabletop that there was an unlawful downtown, Tilton School in lockdown because the suspects fled up School Street on foot. So the captain and the sergeant handled that tabletop. And, I think it was a good learning piece for all the staff at Tilton School, especially since the last time we've done any kind of tabletop up there, they have a lot of new staff. And the captain said that it was a good morning, it went good. And they just tried to decide, locking down that campus is different than locking down at Winnisquam High School. If there's potential armed robbers on the campus, between classrooms, the 11 changed buildings. So they decided that they wouldn't, and so they have to make some different decisions than the high school does, but it's good to plan all that and go through it rather than try to make those decisions in the middle of it. And so he said it was good and that it was worth it.
but when they text their parents, it takes them longer to respond than our local parents.
Yeah, some of them are out of country. So, yeah, but I think, you saw that happen in the last event we had. It's the technology, the age of cell phones. They can get this up to the parents before we can get the 911 call. It's that fast. And so,
The students know ahead of the parents.
yeah, oh yeah,
That's where we got ours on that incident.
right. And it's a whole new phenomenon to us. We're not used to dealing with that kind of problem. And so that means we have to get out the right information sooner than we did years ago. Like almost immediately, and then probably every hour to offset the misinformation that's flying out from the students. So it's tricky. My daughter's had a picture of the guy with the gun in the cafeteria. It was obviously a screenshot from Google, but the parents don't know that. And some parents thought that was not cafeteria. So the Tilton School could run into those same issues, and then you have parents showing up crying upset, you know, and confusion, and so how do you minimize that? So that's what these tabletops try to flush out, and, like I said, we're gonna have a planning meeting on that tomorrow. And, as far as the fleet goes, the only thing still down highway, is the 4B, Sergeant Morrison said he's working with Arthur on that, they're trying to figure out if it's a fuel module or some sort of, fuel sensor switch, and they hope to figure it out by tomorrow. I told them if they can't, that they may have to get it to check by our service or something, but, besides, they're pretty confident that it's gonna be all right. Home Beautiful, is almost done. They only have the 2 bathrooms downstairs and then the stairwell with rubber going to the basement level. And I think they're gonna do that on Tuesday or Wednesday. Tim worked with me to add a second copper line to our alarm system. The system's supposed to be set up with 2 lines, not 1, so we added that second line, and then 2 days ago we tested the fire alarm system and it worked great. So it's good to know that there's not going to be any issues there. I scheduled a meeting with the Interstate United Way for February 16th at 3 o'clock to discuss, you know, the possibility of the Interstate United Way helping me with a facility location for the community center. So that's meeting scheduled. And then just legislative update. I think I might have mentioned that last night as we testified yesterday on synthetic urine, and I got a ought to pass on that bill, so it looks like that's going to go okay, which would give me the ability to have our local store take that stuff off the shelves, and the beauty company there too.
Yes, it's the local merchant misspoke to us.
This is not urine, but it's color urine?
It's synthetic urine.
Synthetic.
Yeah, it's made to basically defraud drug tests, and it actually has a heating element in it. And the state lab testified with me and Judy
Shake it up and it gets warm?
to your body temperature.
Mhm.
The state lab said that their testing system can't even tell the difference between the synthetic urine.
That's amazing.
Isn't that amazing? And so Tim Piper, who's head of the state lab, testified and said, you know, this is a public safety nightmare, it's a lab nightmare. There's 11 other states that is so we'll be able to all see. And,
How many stores in Tilton sell it?
Just the one.
Just one.
You know, the same store that the other spice probably. So, but, you know, I assured the committee that we would give the stores timely notice to get it off the shelves.
Are they willing to?
That I don't know, but they won't have a choice.
Well, the last one, the Spice, they were willing to, they just wanted the word from you.
Yeah, so I mean, I promised them that we would give the stores notice. I'll make sure the chiefs on the state get their stores notice. I mean, we want to do it fairly, but, you know, at the end of the day, we're trying.
Tell them it's coming, you might as well start clearing it now.
Are there, yeah,
But
not
not-
sale.
Not
Are there
ordering more
any
stuff.
other applications for that product?
On the container, it refers to it as a fetish product, Joe. I'll let you figure out what that might be for.
Golden showers?
Oh my word, I need,
That's how they're trying to circumvent the law.
Really?
I need so.
Yeah, so I mean, but it's,
Oh, Catherine, please.
That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. Some
After
people
the-
are into that, Catherine.
It's disgusting.
Listen, after the day we
No, no,
had,
no, 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 no.
that's
listening
yeah.
to this is minor.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if they legalized prostitution, there might be a use for that product.
They actually.
I'm just saying.
They should have done the two
It's
hearings
used for-
together.
Right
should
into
do the
the
real thing.
Yeah, they
Okay,
should,
now,
right.
moving right along.
Moving right
Yeah.
I'm
Too
blaming
late
this
for
on
that.
you, chief.
I know. So,
No.
I think I gave you kind of an update on Duncan. So Nick's working on a list of employees that will take some of these alternate jobs. I got a call from Dred today, and then I called them back and left them a voicemail, so we're playing a little phone tag, but Nick hasn't given me the list yet anyway. And then I spoke with Gary at Applebee's, he's going to do a complete breakfast, so I'll start to rally some of those places behind this and get a couple things going. Gary's gonna give me a date tonight. I told him the sooner the better. You know, we'll see if I can do something with market.
Has there been any like GoFundMe page efforts or any of that kind of
Not
thing?
yet, not yet.
That might be because if I saw something like that, I would, that gives a place you can contribute,
Right.
you know? And
They
then,
take a portion of that.
well, there might be a portion, I don't know what it
And
is.
the only thing to do is.
It's better than the nothing they're getting
Right.
now, right?
I could run into we ran it before, where we ran into the police association. And that's what we did with the teddy bears, so I mean, that's an option too.
Mhm.
But either way, we wanna help them, get them some money for groceries. Obviously, it's only a couple days, but after a couple weeks, reality sets in, and you're not.
That building is not gonna be up and running again, even if they have plans to rebuild it
Right.
At least 3 months.
for a while, yeah.
Is that site secure from people picking or looting or,
What are they gonna go after, bird coffee?
you know?
Charcoal.
I lost my phone in a fire and I went back to just see if there's anything I could get. And other people trying to fight me over my own belongings.
Oh, Jesus.
Neighbors, this is in Burlington, Mass. Okay, I already found these. So that's what it brings out sometimes.
You can't find anything in my house, all right?
They
They don't look like a house, but it's still mine.
I know they wanted to go in there, but I don't think they said it's not safe.
It's not safe.
And so it's all taped and coned off. You really can't
Keep-
fly with it because it's so bad. You know, the wall-
Yeah,
It's
it's nasty.
nothing to attach it to.
There's nothing to,
You
yeah.
know, the insurance company, maybe chain link or something.
They'll probably come in with a portable chain link at some point and just
Have
encompass
you
it.
any idea how that fire started?
No, that, when the first employee got there, he reported the lights were flickering on and off, and then he smelled smoke, then he started to see smoke, ran outside, he called. At the same time, he was calling, the burglar alarm was going off. The burglar alarm was probably going off with the fire alarm. And so, Dave was the first one there. Dave said he saw smoke in there, and then he started to see more smoke, and then flames, and then Dave said it just went up. So, I mean, they don't have any, the fire department didn't have any reason to believe there was anything suspicious, but they never ruled it out, kind of like us with police.
They're still investigating the exact cause.
But nothing yet pointing in that direction,
Mhm.
so. But then, you know, they had another good one this afternoon on Elton Street.
Apparently there was one over
Yeah,
in the...
someone was getting me all worried.
It was right across, literally across the street from that
He
school.
said, the school.
And Northfield had a fire too,
This morning, yeah,
on
Union.
Union Road, yeah.
Yeah, so,
All right, good
but,
job.
keep going.
Thank you.
Our next, just for an FYI, our next drug feedback is, April 30th.
April 30?
Yep, and I just did the paperwork for that today. We have to do like a statewide waiver with the DPA every time we do one of those. And, so I had to send that off to the Attorney General's office today. Give us the ability to do that.
Where did those drugs go?
They actually get destroyed. So the last time we did one, we got 7,700 pounds. Not just because that's a lot, but the time before that we got 6,500.
Do they have an incinerator specifically for this? Do they bring them to the incinerator in Petticoat?
Any,
Because
any of the
it's
high
not-
heat locations, there's a few around the state, not a lot, but there's a few. And they go there and stand there watching. I mean, these are so high heat, they vaporizes them. So,
It's not like when they used to do the burn down at Hazen Drive and had to send people home early because of these.
So I mean, it seems like, I looked at the numbers every time we do them, we get more and more. But they're also still trying to limit the amount of prescribing, you know, that's something in legislation, that's a whole nother topic, but, we prescribe a lot. You know, the fact that we're taking almost 8,000, you know, pounds of this back every time we do one of these, kind of makes you wonder, but it's better than having houses broken into, or they don't want people collecting it anymore. You know?
Well, that's the thing, how much of those drugs are like mood altering and how much of them are heart medication and stuff like that, you know? I die and I'm on heart cholesterol and diabetes stuff that might all come to a thing like this. So do you have any ideas how much of it is like
The
a...
breakdown,
Yeah, well, it's hard to say, isn't it?
yeah, I don't even know if they can tell me that. I'll ask.
Chief, what, did you order the handheld radar?
We do, yeah, we have that. So, one officer that actually get that certification came with it to us is Officer Appleby. Because that's a special certification, so,
Oh, okay.
yeah, you have to.
When are you
go
gonna
through-
certify the other ones?
Well, I got together with Corporal Pennell, and Corporal Pennell's gonna have him train each officer as they use it. So, it's kind of one of those things, he just has to go over them for 4 hours, so he goes out with Officer work for 4 hours, they do some radar together. And, but it's a little certification process because it's laser versus radar.
Okay.
But
Because
yeah,
I saw 2 officers out on Cedar Street with radar, with the radar gun. I stopped and talked with them, and I said, why aren't you using the new one? We have a new one?
yeah,
That was their answer. So I said, yeah, we do.
yeah, it's the,
You have to have a
they call it
certification.
LiDAR as a certification. So, there has to be a little bit of coordination because Officer Appleby's the only one that can do that.
Okay.
You know, unless I send someone down the academy to go through that class. But, we already have some of those.
Yep. Get him to do it.
Question. The tiles, do we schedule to get them sealed with wax and all that?
Yeah, I was gonna have him finish the 2 bathrooms downstairs next week. Paul said either Tuesday or Wednesday. Once those are done, then I was gonna make the appointment to have them all done together, so when they come in. And then I'd like to schedule, if they can, to do it on a Saturday or Sunday or a night. Something like that. I know like we used to have it a couple times a year, they would do it at night, that's just so much easier, less traffic. But I'm looking forward to it, because they come up great when they're down at Base and Labs.
It's a main traffic area, so we have to get them done, Pretty soon.
You'll know it's an incident.
particularly in the lobby way.
Before salt.
Speaking of the lobby way, it's the masking tape been removed.
Careful. He didn't put a lot of money into that building.
Yeah. He turned on the razor scraper, but yes, it looks great. The whole lobby looks.
Electrical outlets covered? Nice.
with masking tape.
Tell
Yeah,
us
no,
when we get
everything's
some-
good and clean and working out there.
Had to put it somewhere.
Good, glad it's coming along.
It is, and thanks for at the end of the year. Because it does make the place look
Now we
better.
just need to get tables and chairs for that
Yeah, and that's
training room downstairs.
on the to-do list. We're trying to see if we can get a grant for that.
Talk with the pastor over at the Wood Church over here, if you're looking for that kind of stuff, because she's got like 100 chairs. And they're really nice ones, and they're cushy, and they roll around, and someplace closed, and she got all the stuff. So you might, and it's all, it closed, it's not like they would get it out because it's broken or whatever. But if you talk with Pastor Michelle, she might be able to hook you up. She was inundated with them. Would you take all of them or take none of them? And she took all of
So
them.
now she has chairs all plenty.
Well, she had chairs for the long term. So I would ask anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing was the storage, we talked about the storage, getting that straightened out for
Yeah,
things.
Yeah, I met with the, No, she put everything under the sink, but we still got to put some shelves in there. I think that's what we're, for the next week or so, put a couple shelves in there, because it's just all shoved up with that sink right now. But she did
Put
move
it up
out.
over the sink shelves.
Yeah, I know, had a little cloth, so we went in the room together and went over it.
How is Officer Marie's project going?
Doing one, she went to spot school this week, so now she can run plates and dispatch. So it's every dollar, I need coverage at night, she can do all that too.
Seems like she was gonna work on a special project downstairs. Did that work out at all?
You know, they've had her do a bunch of projects, so I'll have to check.
Has to do with evidence.
Evidence, yeah. I know that we also have an intern in there too, and he's scanning. And he's scanning every day, and he's scanning like crazy. And he's a really nice kid too. And he seems like a good worker.
What kind of stuff does he scan?
Reports. Like, yeah, anything that we can digitize.
Yeah, well, is any of this stuff non-public or critical information?
Yeah, I mean, he's gone through the whole criminal check to be able to do it, so they put him through all of that.
So he knows.
And he knows he's
He's
supervised.
trustworthy.
Yeah, very, and he's the supervisor, so, county supervisor, so he's doing a great job. And, we have him the whole semester.
He doesn't just throw the stuff away when he's done.
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, no, it's, something we need to do, and I think all of us need to do.
All right, any more questions for the chief? You got any more questions for us?
Probably
Okay.
over there.
Great. And it's 6:25. Time for public input.
All I hear is crickets. Here we go.
All right, moving right along, then, Joyce, we're up for you.
Okay.
You're up for us.
Okay.
It's early, we're 20 minutes early. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Oh, God. Oh, how am I doing with this?
Might get on tonight.
Wow,
I
wow.
got a long non-public show. Long non-public.
Doesn't happen.
Long?
Doesn't happen.
Yes, each one of those non-publics has a couple on it.
Well, you can pick two out of three. You get to pick which two you want.
Hi, Joyce.
Hi. How did your hearing go this morning?
Oh, it was great.
Did it?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about it in non-public.
Okay.
That's how great it went. Chiefs went better than ours,
Oh.
trying to legalize prostitution.
Now, that's probably an unfair statement.
They,
They talked about it, but.
No,
that's
there
a
is
bill.
that was
Look right
presented
here.
today to legalize prostitution.
I have
I
witnesses.
understand that, but just because one person
Oh, no, it's
thinks
a
this is a
roll call.
great idea.
There was at least a dozen people that spoke to it.
but
The
no problem.
prediction is the House will pass it and the Senate will kill it. And that came from House Representatives. While I was sitting in the hallway.
Well, thank goodness none of these representatives are our representatives.
I think you can roll call vote.
That's a little tidbit. Let's listen to Joyce now.
Okay, I forwarded you an email from Lauren, no, it's a letter. It's a letter that's in your selectmen's folder about the Board of Tax and Land Appeal, the 2012 and 2013 proxy on MCG. Is it in the FYI? Selectmen's FYI?
I don't know. Look at
I mean, it's a public document, so.
it. Yes.
Okay, and this goes with it, this is, because I didn't email Lauren, because this is just another delay tactic, so that goes with it. So I just want to bring those to the board's attention if you want to read them. Because we paid, remember we updated, we did the 2012, and then we paid our consultant to update for 2013, so we've been ready, we're all ready to go, to sit down, mediate, ready for the hearing and just continued delay tactics. Fortunately, on this one, we're not using an attorney because it's Board of Tax and Land Appeal, so it's not costing us money, but it's just taking time. And I believe this was in your confidential. Because I had checked with Cindy to see how.
She sent us,
She did? Okay.
I believe she sent us an email. Oh, maybe it might just be an email.
It could have been. I talked to her at the meeting last night, and that the bank will be paying the taxes in February. So we will be there.
So we will be paid.
Yeah.
These are all my little bits, but the bank's paying.
After our
We
meeting.
have penalty?
The bank's paying. Yeah, obviously, but he's still making the payment, so. We're still in the right, absolutely.
Just to follow up on things from last week with the highway department about relaying some information to Johnny, so everything that the board had asked me to do, I did. I relayed it to Johnny.
Outstanding, Joyce.
Right after the meeting. Let's see, question for John. You had asked to get a copy of the Casella 2015 annual report test results. Did you ever get that yet?
John?
The Belmont Planning Board has sent you and the town quite a bit of information, all the documents, planning board approvals. This is a thing about best way to sell them.
Oh, that was a collection? Yeah,
Yes,
it
did
didn't
you get-
include the 2015.
Okay, and you didn't get that? You haven't received that yet?
I didn't see it. I
Okay,
didn't see it come through.
all right, I'll follow up on
We had the 2014. And if we could get that pretty quick,
that. Okay.
before
The-
other things happen.
Yeah, and I haven't heard back from the Water District Commissioners yet about the meeting, but that will be sometime in February. Now,
Are you talking about the group meeting with Belmont?
Yeah.
Okay, because Representative Hill was asking me that.
I haven't heard it yet, but now, with all this information that we got, do you want me to go ahead and put this in the selectmen's dashboard under best way, so that we can get everything all in
I think
order?
that's a good place to have
Okay,
it.
so, because I don't know that Dara doesn't have rights, I can just put things in the dashboard, so I'll make sure.
I think it's good, everybody take a look at that.
Okay. So, okay. And so, when are we going to talk about this? Will we be hearing a non-public? Or no?
Oh, yes, we're having a non-public comment.
Quite some time ago, and I'm sure Tim was the one that had mentioned it to the board, that we've been working with the Winnisquam Regional School District to try and set up some internships here at the town hall. And we wanted to have something that would be interesting for the student to do. And we finally have a student who's ready, and Dari has put together a work plan for the land use office. And I have some ideas for the person. I can teach them some things about, personnel and human resources in a business office environment, and I'm sure Tim has some things too. But what we'd like to do is have Dari and Dana Foles, or at least Dari, come and explain exactly what the student will be doing, what the internship will be doing. He can answer all your questions about the who, what, where, when, why, how, what days, and exactly what he's doing, and what assurances we will have with the school to make sure that this will be a successful project. And I was curious, I wanted to know who, and it turns out I do know who the student is, so,
JW?
yes.
Is this, what kind of
In fact, I think he was an explorer.
the internship, what kind of classes is this individual taking?
I'm sorry?
What kind of classes
Well,
is this
I can tell you
individual
this much.
taking that this applies to?
Okay, I can tell you this much, but it would be better coming from Dari since he's been working on this. The The student is a senior, he's an A student and a leader at our school. He's interested in law and municipal government, which is why we thought he would be a good fit. When I mentioned land use to him, he seemed excited about the possibilities this could offer. Jeremy, the student could come during the school day because he is a senior with study hall scheduled. It's in the afternoon. I'm not quite sure exactly of the timing. He would probably do 3 to 5 hours a week. We have a rotating schedule, so it would change week to week. Interns are responsible for communicating their schedule to their work site each week. The school will be evaluating him with input from the job site. If any issues arise, they would be responsible for addressing them. And they also check in with the job sites on a regular basis to ensure that everything is going well.
In answer to your question, Joe, it's not a class, it's called an extended learning opportunity.
Well, I just
Or the
wondered,
band you remember from the 70s.
what,
So do they always have to be an honor roll student? We don't extend
I
any
remember that
opportunities
band,
to
but I
kids
can't
who are
remember.
average
I'd see
or-
this guy.
Those would be questions for Dana.
What was
who's
your
in charge of the
question?
program.
Madam Vice Chair?
All opportunities go to honor roll kids. They don't?
I don't believe so.
So what about the kids that are on the, what is that list?
We don't have the NPL, if that's what you're asking.
Does the NPL list anymore?
Oh, they're trying to do something, but we don't have a true NPL.
Okay.
Which means,
Non-participation
Non-players,
list.
Yeah.
I'm just curious why, I mean, it seems with all these programs, it's always.
So lesser
the
than
kid that's-
average kid
Yeah.
could also,
You could still- Oh,
okay.
yeah.
might help me.
The second semester just started, so it's your pleasure time-wise, because I know you have limited time. Would you like to meet with both Dana and Dari and then talk, and then meet the student? What would you like to do?
Me personally, sooner the better. Get him up and running.
You mean, you want him to meet with the board or
Well,
whatever?
he doesn't have to meet right away, but I think it's part of his internship
Oh,
to actually
absolutely.
meet with the board. But we want your permission to go ahead and
Yeah.
start.
I think it's a great idea.
Yep.
But I think periodically he should come in front of the board to update on what he's done. What
I
he's
know what
learned.
he learned. Sure.
So
Yeah.
is this young person coming here to assist work, or are our employees in a teaching mode with him?
The project that Dari has him working on has to do with mapping, so
So,
that part would be teaching.
so our employee is going to be taking their time away from town business to teach the student.
That, I don't see that, I think it will be folding in with the current projects, especially with, the land use laws, okay? How a case comes before the planning board and the steps you have to go through when it goes, and he'll probably attend some planning board meetings as well.
So Dari will be having to take away time from doing his work to teach the student.
I don't see
Is this
this.
more of a shadowing?
Somebody,
See, again, that's why I should have Dari come talk to you, because he can tell you exactly how he feels to handle this. It's not taking time away, it's.
It
the
has to
town
take
board.
some.
if it is, it's gonna be minimal.
Okay.
Because it's
Show
3
him
to
what to
5
do.
hours.
He does it.
Yeah.
The
And
guy
then he may
has
check
to
it
be
when
some.
he's done to confirm, but yeah.
I would think that it would not be any more than like a community service worker to show him what you want to have done. I think that would be a little more in depth because he's actually learning. And then we'll experience, if he comes before the board and say, this is what I've learned so far, this is what it's given me the opportunity to do, or have not done, whatever.
These are a couple things that the student will work closely with Dari Sasan, land use coordinator, to explore the legal process related to land use. Parts of this experience may include working on a digital mapping project, observing the review of land use in the town of Tilton, presenting the experience to the Board of Selectmen, and understanding the processes of land use approvals in municipal government. This internship will also involve assisting with building Tilton's parcel database with the overall goal of making parcel data more easily accessible.
I like
Guess
that
we
part.
need to talk to Dari.
Data entry.
I like that part.
So do you want Dana to come in next week, or do you want Dana just to talk?
Who's Dana?
Our Dana. Dari. Our
I was gonna
Dari.
say, I didn't know.
Our Dari.
Yes.
Dana
Sooner
might-
the better.
Individually, or do you want Dari to come in next Thursday?
Does he know you changed his name?
He should
Well,
come in before the
Dana
board of selectmen
Folds
if he
is
wants
the-
any kind of decision.
It what?
Well,
Kathy?
we have been working on this, and I said, Dari, before we start, we need to inform the board and let the board know what we're doing, because if they don't like what we're doing, then we won't do it.
I
So
think
he
it's a
needs
great
to come
idea.
before the board.
All right.
So
What's the,
tell me
what's the
what you want.
consensus of the board?
Sooner the better.
Come before the board?
Mhm.
Dari and the student?
No.
Just Dari?
Well,
Dari and the,
Intern?
not the intern, the.
Well, Dana may be more problematic as a mother of a 5 or 6-year-old and all, just juggling when you want her to get here. You'll have to give her some notice.
So Dana and Dari have been in touch with each other
Yes,
closely
yes,
over this
they've
whole
been
thing.
working
Dana
on.
is dark.
Yes, now.
I think the questions
So
that
we've
have to
been
be,
working on this to make sure that it was going to be valuable.
The person from the high school that's setting it up, you said.
Dana
That's
Folds,
Dana, okay.
That's it, so what Dave,
Sure.
as opposed to Dana Sasson.
and Dari is on.
So, all right, so we'd like Dari to come in and explain it.
Okay,
We would also like Dana, if she can make it, if not, we'll take Dari.
okay.
Is that,
Yeah,
Well, the other thing is if Dana has something written out, she can get it to me and I can bring it to the board.
okay, that's, I think,
I'll
you okay
mention-
with that? Everybody?
Yes.
Okay,
Good,
sounds good.
all right, that's what we do. We finally got our signed agreement back from Caleb Hill Road. And we had talked about getting together and have a meeting to, refresh our minds about our timelines, scheduling, project. When would you like to do that? Did you want to try and get something before town meeting or after town meeting? And,
Caleb Hill Road?
Yeah.
Resurfacing.
No.
Rebuilding.
Rebuilding,
the DOT state SAR project.
yeah, 80/20.
What are we getting ready for town meeting?
In case anybody, I just said, do you want to talk to them before town meeting or after town meeting?
Talk to who? I'm lost here.
Okay, CR from DOT.
About the
Everything's
project.
been signed, all the
Right.
paperwork's been signed, we're ready to start.
Well, the engineering has to be done.
The first thing would be to sit and meet with him and go over so that
What
we're
has to be
clear.
done?
Everything has to be done, all the timelines. We can figure out when, from that, we can figure out when we have to start borrowing, set up a whole schedule.
What does this have to do with town meeting?
She just wants to know, do you want to do it before town meeting or after town meeting?
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
mean, it's
like,
not like they're gonna start tomorrow.
well, I was waiting for you to say, yeah, we're gonna have a bond.
No,
Okay.
It's not
You lost
going
me
to
with
town
that.
meeting.
The whole town meeting thing threw me on. I don't care when we make
No,
it.
this is the milestone, this is the first
After
milestone.
Joyce.
Everything's
It
started.
doesn't
I say
matter.
before. I say before, because if somebody, well, here's my
You
thing.
don't have a life, Joe.
It'll be during the day, it's not in the
If,
evening.
if we have a meeting before and we know a timeline and we know where it's going, if somebody asks that question at town meeting, we have the answer.
Okay.
You know, it's not like we're gonna, if, I know people are gonna ask, where are we with Caleb Hill? We've got the answer.
We're ready to have the meeting
So
right
can you
after
give me
town
some
meeting.
of those that
Yeah.
want to
Or
attend?
not, it's okay with me.
What, can you give me some dates and times from February? That's where we're starting next
I
week.
just thought we had lots of
Or
other stuff.
first week of March.
That would be-
Usually first week of March isn't quite a week.
What's the annual due?
March 2nd.
When is
I'm
the
just
what?
laughing because we're always like.
The annual report?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weekend before the annual report is due. We usually hear at town hall.
I quite frankly would just like to get through town meeting, but I'm good. Whenever. I can't give you a time, but I definitely be here. I have too many inspections that are coming up, but if I'm here, I'll attend. If I'm not, I know the selectmen will be there, I'm sure.
Yeah, usually the week right before town meeting is like the calm before the storm.
Yeah, we're gonna be making
That week,
binders
or the last week in February, James.
That first week in February, after the annual report.
I know, what I'm saying for me, it's the last,
Backwards pages.
the fourth week in, beginning the 22nd in February,
Okay.
and then the first week in March, those 2 weeks,
Okay, first week in March.
and the last week in February.
And the last week in February, yeah. All right. Back in November of 2014, the E911 people had put together an extensive list of discrepancies on Main Street, street numbering. So we kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. So finally, last week, Tim Joubert, Dari, Jeannie Brom, and I forget the name of the other gentleman, they replaced Mike Keller. Walked Main Street just to refresh our memories of where the discrepancies were. So some of their map numbering was wrong, so they made notes of that where theirs was wrong. And we have our list of our assessing, if you look at our assessing data, what our assessing street address number and what some property owners have posted is different. And some of the E911 numbers are wrong. So we're trying to identify exactly, there aren't that many. And also making sure that it's consistent, that the numbering is consistent. Like the biggest thing we have is in our street numbering ordinance, is that if it's a commercial business, their numbers to designate it as commercial have to have a certain number. Any residences on the second or third floors, then you have to identify the floor number. So, like the second floor, Newell's building, all those would need to be numbered 201, 2A, whatever you number them, but it has to be consistent.
So it shows second floor one.
Yeah. So there are a few of those. So it really wasn't as bad as, it's like this thing about, and when you really look at it, it isn't that bad. So we left it with the E911 people. They're going to get their map to match what's out there, because even their map doesn't match what's existing out there. And then Tim and Dari are going to meet tomorrow so that we can actually highlight with our assessing data and what the property owners are showing for numbers. So, and then then we can zero in on what needs to be changed, and we can bring that before the board, and the board makes the decision. And they'll recommend the consistency, because they're the ones that deal with this all the time.
There has to be a public hearing somewhere along the way.
I have to read our street number.
It would seem as though you can't change my address with at least, I have some input.
We all have to reread the ordinance. I have other communities, when they've gone through this, that they try and make it as easy as possible for the person by going to the post office and getting all this stuff that they'll need so they can change their address.
It's an expense to businesses to change their address.
Yes, it is.
But
It's an expense to the residents
The
as
people.
well.
it is.
If you have checks with
all about
addresses
safety.
on them, or
They didn't
all
make it
about
driver's
easy.
license.
It's all about safety.
When E911
That's right.
came in, they did not make it easy for the residents in Tilton
Well,
No,
to switch over.
they
Well,
did
no, it
not.
was the towns that did it. All the towns had to
It
do
was the
them.
selectmen at the time.
Every town in the state had to do it.
So that to me was.
And for whatever reason, these ones certain ones on Main Street. I mean, it's sad, it really is sad when you go down there and you see 4 different numbers on the same building. Because some have changed more than once. I mean, it's not safe. And we're supposed to keep our people safe.
true.
One of the issues is, I really am starting to think that's good and bad. you know the Tuscan Hill building? Okay, which is really, I mean, it looks like it's all one building, but it's really like three separate things. They all share the same roof, but they're all three separate parcels. They had wanted to have that all be 276 Main Street, and I said, no. No, those people, that's their own property. They should not have to share an address.
How confusing would that be for them?
I said, no.
How confusing it would be for us to say 276 Main Street on tax card.
Because it would be 276 Main Street Unit,
A, B, C.
whatever our
I'm not
naming
pleased with that.
No, they should
convention
be
is.
entitled to their
So
separate
just so you
individuality.
know, I stood firm on that. I said, I know these property owners, they will not accept that.
I don't think I would be willing to accept that.
I wouldn't either. I got it shut down Ninth Road when I had to change my address to 911, and nothing changed at all on the street. Only two houses on the street, and they still made us change the address.
I preferred when I lived on ROW.
Well, there's one building down there
RFW.
ROW.
that has three different addresses.
Right away?
We have a winner.
Three different addresses. So I just will bring that to that's what we'll, because a number of people have asked,
And listen to it all the time.
yeah, so walking down Main Street, and that's what we're doing. Elections, housing.
Joyce? Was there any history of, in the past, that we've notified them to change? You know, when I see that here that somebody has 4 different numbers from the times that it's changed. So they must have gotten notified that they had to change to this, and then they kept the other numbers.
We never got notified except we got, like a couple weeks before we changed it, we said, boom, that's it, we're gonna change it.
Dave Walkley used to do it years ago, and he would actually, physically visit them, so really should do it. I don't think there was anything formal.
I don't know.
No,
I know
but
we went through-
we may want to check some because on my road,
Yeah, there are some other ones.
you've
that are
got
still
20
Main
Crystal,
Street.
most people think is 20 Ruby, and 20 Rubies at the other end, so deliveries end up at the wrong houses.
Yeah, as these come through, now this one was March 20th, it says, I don't know if this has been resolved yet, it just says that 78 Vista Heights, 91 Silver Lake Road, 22 Little Road, 36 Ashelot, and 14 Hemlock. This is, also is 14 Hemlock been torn down. So I don't know, but this is what Dari and Carter.
They're working on it. They're still working on it.
It's not completely down.
No.
And the trash collection ordinance, I don't know if I emailed that to you yet, but
Yep.
what I did was I took, she sent me the revisions and I put it in format that the board can accept, but I haven't had a chance to check this against the revisions. Because I thought a couple of things were, we still had like 2 words together.
Yeah, everybody needs to look through it, make sure it's the way you want it.
And I think that's all I really have. The rest would be numbered, but I think that's it. I tell you, I miss Gail. I sure miss Gail. Just not having her here one day was.
That it?
That's it.
Not the warrant individuals.
Well, I know we were gonna, Dari did give me his, zoning, so I put those. We still have to decide on the house.
Haven't heard from Dan Green.
And, the other one we were gonna look on. And that one. Okay.
Sounds good. I have, for the public, it's an FYI file. We have the Board of Fire Commissioners will meet, we'll be holding a public hearing on the 2016 warrant immediately following the Budget Committee's public hearing on the 2016 budget, Tuesday, February 2nd at 7 p.m., the Tilton Town Hall upstairs. And just before that, at
What time,
5,
sorry?
7 p.m. And just before that, at 5:30 is a fire commissioners meeting upstairs at Town Hall.
Is it, notice any non-publics for the meeting?
Soon. All right. John, do you have anything for us?
No, just if somebody is watching the video, which would be tomorrow, it's the last day to sign up, is that correct?
Yes, the 29th.
So if
End
it's
of
the
day.
29th, you have till the end of the day to come down and join us on one of our fine boards,
We're missing a
commissions,
budget
and
committee
committees.
member.
We need another budget committee member. And that's all I have.
Who is up that doesn't sign up for budget?
Wayne,
Wayne?
So we hear
Wait.
phone or?
Wayne,
No,
up
so
here.
you're probably gonna go home.
Catherine,
Yeah, what's up?
really?
Well, how about you take that day, non-public?
Just a little tidbit, Tim is on his way up with the ACH manifest. And
You better run.
in today's payment to the Franklin Savings Bank are the final payments on the Riverfront Park debt.
Yes!
That-
Wow.
That
That-
has to go into the town report.
Yes,
It
yes.
needs to go on the website. Let's not wait for the town report.
Well, we trumpet that from everywhere.
Even Tim running to the bank, will check on the front page. Done.
Pay in full would be nice.
Exactly. Joe, do you have anything for us?
No.
Peter, do you have anything for us?
Nope, all done. Did it earlier.
I don't, All right.
It's trash, that's what
At this
it's
time, I will make a motion to go to non-public. RSA 91A, colon 3. We are going to be talking about acquisition, sale, lease of property, and personnel tonight.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes.
Hi, Johnny.
Night, John.
Good night, Johnny.
Wasn't that the Johnny Carson thing?
Huh?
Good night, Johnny.
Yes. The camera is red, red is on. The time being 8:18. I'd like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as they pertain to the potential acquisition and/or sale of property until such time as those acquisitions might be complete, as they pertain to personnel/legal matters permanently, as they may adversely affect the reputation of a resident permanently, and as they pertain to public safety permanently.
Second.
Good job.
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes, I would like to make a motion now, at this time, to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. At 8:19.
Good job.